Okay, so this week I wanted to explore, summarize, and also relate the first two parts of the book, Breaking Open the Head. I wanted to go ahead and summarize the first two parts of the book, like I said, and basically the author just discusses how he's not a wasteoid, but at the same time, he's really into psychedelic drugs, and he's really into finding out what he doesn't know about himself through doing these drugs. And so when the chapters first started, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, this guy's off. But I mean, as I read, I kind of began to relate to him, but I'll get into that later. So like I said, the first two parts of the book, he's just discussing the fact that he, travels to the South African country, to Abwiti people, and he finds out about this iboga, I guess, plant, and they use the bark to grind it up and eat it, and they eat it off of a just a banana, a plantain, and they eat that, and it makes them trip out and hallucinate and discover all sorts of cool things about themselves, and it shows them their past, and it shows them really, deep things about themselves that, people don't normally take a look at. And then it goes on to the second part of the book, where he just basically goes into talking about mushrooms and how he goes to South America, and he's, trying to, basically get the same experience or a new experience through eating mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms. And so it turned out it turns out to start actually be a real page turner when you start reading it. It did turn me off a little bit at first, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So I want to also what did I say? Explore. So I wanted to explore the plantain. I know it's a really small thing. It's a really small detail in the book, but when I read that the the author actually ate the iboga, the ground up iboga, the gray drug off of the plantain. I wanted to find out more about that. I'm like, wait, first off, what is that? But I found out it's like a banana, and it's a fruit, but it's related to the banana. A lot of island people and Africans actually fry it and eat it with their meals and stuff, like a normal side. And so that's what that is. And I guess the author just ate it raw with the ground up iboga on there. And so yeah, I went so far as to explore that as in buying it, and then I fried it myself and I ate it. And it was pretty good. It was like a fried banana. It was really sweet and delicious. So that was a huge exploration for me this week. And then I also wanted to relate to, oh, and so yeah, the boga, he talks about that on pages 9 and 10, and all throughout the first part of the book. Anyhow, I wanted to also I wanted to relate to something I read on page 25. The author starts talking about, oh no, page 25 is when he's talking about the plantain. So that's what I explored. I wanted to talk about how he's in chapter 8 on page 54 and 56. The author starts talking about mushrooms, and I just wanted to relate to that a little bit, because he starts talking about how he was disappointed that the mushrooms didn't give him the high that he was looking for. Like, he was looking for this really supernatural experience like he got before in Africa, and he did not. He got the same experience that he got trying, mushrooms in college and everything like that. And so I wanted to relate to that a little bit, because I've actually personally tried mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, before, and it was, a very sense heightening experience. Like, like he said, the colors come alive, your senses are very everything is high definition. Basically, your the sense of smell, the colors that you see, the things you taste. And so I just wanted to relate to that a little bit and talk about how I feel for him. Like, he didn't hallucinate how he thought he was going to, and he didn't, it wasn't this huge thing how he thought it was going to be. It was just similar to what he experienced before. And so I kind of felt for them. My heart bled a little bit for him for that, because yeah, I had that same thing happen to me. So that's all for this week. See you guys next week.